Hey there, my name is Jessub Flower. I am a screenwriter, educator, and all around learning, training, and development nut. And welcome to the My Favorite Teacher podcast. Yes, welcome to this episode of My Favorite Teacher, the My Favorite Teacher podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I am extremely excited to have another one of my friends on the podcast here. This is somebody who is very near and dear to my heart, and not just because she has gotten me a few jobs. That's not the reason why. It's also because she's just a great person. She is a producer in the big old crazy land of Hollywood. Kelly Frazier is somebody that has a lot of stuff going on, a lot of projects going on, but currently working on four movies that are in the mix right now. So Murder at Yellowstone City, currently on Netflix, that she produced. Birthright on all the platforms. You can rent it pretty much anywhere that you have. Bob Trevino Likes It, which is still in theaters, by the way, and also on Hulu. This thing won like 30 awards. John Leguizamo. It's an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, make sure that you go and see it. And then this one's pretty exciting, but one called The Wrong Paris, which is currently the #1 movie on Netflix. Please welcome to the podcast, Kelly Frazier.
Hello. Thank you for
Little
having
applause
me.
bringing you in, Kelly Frazier. Thank you. Thank you for joining me for this. I'm so
Of
thankful that you're
course.
here.
Of course. My pleasure.
We kind of know each other because we did From Black together, of course,
That's
and
right.
people that have my faithful 10 listeners that have listened so far have known that I was a co-writer on that and everything. That's where we pretty much met. But we've also, we've worked on a bunch of little projects that haven't seen the light of day, and hopefully
But will soon.
will soon. I like that. But yeah, I just thank you for being a part of it. We're just getting people together that are fun and successful people that have reached a level of success and just talking about their background. So, tell me a little about all these things that are going on, right? What do you have to do with all of these movies that are happening? The producer role is so big, it's going to take a whole nother podcast to talk about, but what do you have to do with these that are currently running right now?
Well, luckily, once they're running and once we've gotten them sold, then we don't have to do quite as much. But
Okay.
you have to shepherd them for the rest of your life because, they've got after the theatrical run, they've got the run on all the platforms. After that, you've got the run on all the airlines and all of that. And then your initial deals run out, 10, 15 years later. So then you get the rights back and then you've got to spin those into another life. So once you do one, it's kind of your baby for the rest of your life. So,
Really?
yeah, the job really never ends. But we're constantly, as producers, developing. There's 15 things on my slate right now. I've got three
Really?
active ones that we're casting right now. And, you're just always, it's been great. This past week has been wonderful with The Wrong Pairs coming out and being #1. It's been a lot of fun, but I also can't take my foot off the gas because I've
No.
got so many other projects I need to get going. So,
So but you're like actively having to do press and stuff like that for those as well. And while
yeah,
doing that,
yeah. Yeah, managing that. Really, nobody really cares about the producers. All they want to talk to are the actors, and sometimes the director. So that's the good part. I'm not usually doing things like this on camera. I leave that for the beautiful, talented ones,
I
but
know.
I've
If
still
I
got to
see
shepherd it.
what's the name of your lead guy that's in The Wrong Paris?
Pearson Fode. Nobody's
Oh my.
minding seeing that guy and his
If I
abs.
see another set of abs like that, guys, give me a break, man. It's like
And
I
they're
can cut
real. No
myself on those abs.
Photoshop, no AI. That's all Pearson.
That's a lot of sit-ups and not a lot of carbs, I'll tell you that probably right
That
now.
is right. And a lot of cold plunge. He cold plunged every day at lunch.
What?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, it
he
was
talk you into
crazy.
it? Tell me he talked you into doing a
No,
cold
no
plunge.
way. You know what a freezing cold person I am, even in the middle of summer? No way. I'll sit in the sauna all day long, but not the cold plunge.
Now, where are you currently, geographically?
I'm in LA, but I'm leaving in a couple days to go through Texas, and then I'll be there for a few days with my family for a few days, and then
Oh,
I'll
nice.
be hopefully in New Jersey on another project we're about to start.
Doing some scouting.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you primarily have, I mean, from a lot of the stuff that I've heard, you're almost always out there scouting and stuff too. So scouting locations, scouting areas. How is that working with like, jurisdictions and people that want to shoot films in New Jersey? I mean, what is that? What do you have to do to get a hold of people over there that are wanting to make movies and have movies made there?
Well, we usually start at the film commission and tell them what
Okay.
we're up to, double check the reason we're interested in states these days is their tax incentives. So as long as the location works for the script, then our next question is, okay, what are their tax incentives? And so then we start those conversations with the film commission and local line producers and just the network. I usually know somebody who's shot in that state, and they can get me started with a good, usually line producer or location manager is where we start to begin with, and then usually they know everybody in the mix there, and you get to the right people pretty quickly. But yeah, we're headed out to I was just on a scout in Canada for 2 weeks,
Really?
on two different films. We did those back to back. And
A lot of more films are being filmed in Canada recently, aren't they?
yeah, we actually filmed, I'm a Texas girl, and we
Yeah.
wrote The Wrong Paris. It's set in Paris, Texas, and Paris, France. But
Oh,
yeah, The Wrong Paris. Yep.
got it.
So we ended up shooting it outside of Vancouver because the tax incentives were so much better. So it broke my little Texan heart, but as a
Sure.
producer, it was a no-brainer. We had to.
But
So,
I'm guessing production people did all the stuff, put all the Texas flags up there and
oh
everything like
yeah,
that,
yeah, I
right?
had the
So,
art department totally dialed in. Like, we got to have some Shinerbach beer in the bar. We've got to have this Lone Star sign. We've got to have, we
and a
made sure.
Bucky's. You had to put a Bucky's in somewhere,
Oh,
right?
you know what? We wrote Buc-ee's, Whataburger, all those things in, but we had to take them out when we decided to shoot in Canada, unfortunately.
Well, what for people that are listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, one thing that I mean you may or may not know is, I mean, it is a miracle that any movie gets made. It's just
Well, I
insane the
know.
amount of stuff that has to come together, and a
Yeah.
lot of times people just think, oh, you just grab a director and grab a camera and shoot the pretty actors, but that's not true. It's people like Kelly that have to basically work. Well, I mean, it's pretty much 24/7 for the, 6 months or whatever it is that it takes to kind of get production done. And then, like you said, nonstop until the thing dies in a, you know, forgotten like Tubi platform somewhere. or something like that.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
No, of
But
course.
yeah, it's so true. I mean, like the one that's out now, one of the ones that's out now, The Wrong Paris, we developed that. The writer wrote it originally about 10 years ago, and she's my best friend, so she wrote it for fun. She took a screenwriting class at UCLA
What?
and wrote this great script, and I'm like, Nicole, this is actually really good for especially for your first script. And so she just kind of sat on it, and a few years later I kind of just said, hey, what did you ever do anything with that? Let's dust that off and update it, and let me see if I can do something with it. So then we developed it for a couple, another year or so, and then I got it to in front of Netflix, but then it was another 2 years before we got it off the ground, and then the head of Netflix changed, and then that set us
Oh
behind
yeah,
another about 8 months. So, they can take decades.
that's insane. That's amazing the amount of
That's
work.
why I
Now,
have to
when
have
you,
so many
huh?
going on. That's why I have to be developing so many at
Yeah.
once.
Well, yeah, and just keep that pipeline rolling, right? Because you don't want to just relax now that you're done with it. You're off and running to the next thing. There are probably certain things that you'd like to do with the Wrong Paris that you can't do because you're off and running on the next thing. So
Yeah. Yeah,
now, when you are doing this, is this something that you kind of always wanted to do? Like, think back to your school years. Like, when you were in school, did you want to do this kind of stuff?
well, I didn't really, and in my family, it was always the starving artist mentality.
Mm,
So it was like, oh yeah, that's cute that you like art, and that's cute that you like to read books and tell stories, but you can't make a living at that. So that was always my mentality. But I think it was always a storyteller. That was my favorite part of the school day was reading time and I would hurry up and finish my work so I could go to the reading corner and read a book. So I think I always have been a storyteller, but started off business pre-law in college, and then I took
Really?
took some communication courses and started working at a TV station there, a news station, and I loved it. Had so much fun with it. But then I did graduate and go on to law school for 2 weeks. And and I
Hey,
was like, I hate this. I really don't think this is for me.
now what do you think that was? I'm cutting in and ruining your story, but what was it that made you just go, nope?
the I just wasn't ready to study that hard for 3 more years. I didn't want that. Those those weren't fun books to read. Those were
Yeah.
super boring books to read.
Oh, yeah.
And so I called my dad and thought he was going to say, "Stick it out, Miss Kell. You started it. You got to finish it." And he didn't. He said, "If you don't like it now, you're really not going to like it when you're graduated and working 90-hour weeks." And so he's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh, great. Okay, now I have no idea what I want to do." But I was in Nashville, Tennessee, so I fell backwards onto a country music video shoot. And my first day was a 21-hour day of taking out the trash, picking up cigarette butts, taking people their
You were a
coffee.
PA
As
basically,
a PA, as a production
production
assistant.
assistant. Okay.
And I loved it. I loved every second of it. So yeah, I ended up working my way up the ladder in country music videos, and then some guys from LA came in to do a project, and luckily their next movie was in Texas. And so I convinced them to take me with them, and then we did like 7 movies in a row in West Texas, and we
What?
had so much fun. Yeah.
Oh man, you better write a book or something because that's we'll have to schedule another podcast that's just the story of Kelly Frazier. That's crazy.
I got
So I'm
very
guessing
lucky.
that. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that?
I got very lucky. I worked my ass off, but I got
Yeah.
very lucky. Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing then that the favorite teacher was probably not in law school. So I'm
Absolutely.
gonna ask you, Kelly Frazier, who was your favorite teacher, or who were your favorite teachers?
Well, I actually have two. My first one was Mrs. Reb, who was my first grade teacher and also ended up being my third grade teacher.
Mrs. What now?
Mrs. Reb,
Reb.
REBB.
Okay.
And then my second favorite teacher was in high school, my English teacher. She was the first one who got me to understand that writing was fun. It wasn't a chore. It wasn't homework that your mind could go off in any direction and actually tell a story, and writing could be fun. So
Now I'm just
yeah,
we're gonna go back to Mrs. Reb, but first of all, what was the teacher's name in high school?
Mrs. Gwillow.
Mrs. Gwillow. Okay, very
Yes.
cool. Now, what did
Yes.
Mrs. Gwillow do specifically to kind of help you learn that writing could be fun and stuff like that? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
That's a good question. I know that she pulled me aside because I was maybe just a little bit of a class clown too, but she pulled
Shocker.
me aside. She pulled me aside and just said, basically you're way smarter than you're behaving, something along that line. And then she would spend time with me and say, write about this or tell me about that, but write a story about that. And she just took the time to say, hey, I think you could be a good writer. Sit down and give it a shot. And then she would give me prompts, and then I just had a blast with it. And then I started just doing it for fun, and then started journaling. She told me to just wake up and start writing, and kind of along the lines of the artist way that, do your morning pages, kind of thing. And then she entered some stuff in some contest, and they did well, so she
Stuff of
did.
yours.
Mm-hmm.
Tell
Yeah,
me about
just little
this.
technical things, but it was like, oh, maybe I could do this.
And she entered you in some contests and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, what does that say to a student? I mean, that's huge to a student.
Oh yeah, it just gives you confidence, especially, if nobody's ever told you that before. If a teacher can identify in a student what their strengths are and help guide the student towards that, that's exactly, I wouldn't be doing this if she hadn't given me confidence that I'm a storyteller. And also, it's funny, my middle sister is a teacher, and she told me from the time I was a little kid that I was a great storyteller. Because I guess I used to hold court at family dinners telling stories about my day or something. And she still is like, you're such a good storyteller. And, that confidence from her and Mrs. Gwillow, that hey, maybe I could do something with that. It's not just for fun, that there you can actually make a living doing something like that. So
That's cool.
yeah, yeah.
Now back to Mrs. Reb. This is in the early years. I mean, what memories do you have from Mrs. Reb? Why was she your favorite teacher?
She
She
was
was the
so
first one that
sweet.
came to your mind.
She was, and always is when people ask who my favorite teacher was, because I remember my very first day of school, in first grade, and when I was in a real school. Um, I was kind of like scared and nervous and clinging to my mom's leg. And, then she left, and I think I must have been teary eyed or something, but everybody sat down at their desks, and she came and got me and let me sit in her lap, and she held me until I felt, safe and able to go back to my seat. So, I mean, I still, however many years later, 50, something like that, years
Oh, you're
later,
gonna have to say.
she,
I'll edit that out.
thanks, take that out, please. Yeah, but all these years later, I remember how sweet she was and how safe she made me feel. And she was always so happy and fun, and she made school fun. It wasn't a chore to go to school. I looked forward to going to school because however it was she taught, first graders and third graders. Um, she just made you enjoy being there, and the learning process was fun. And in third grade, she was the one that had the reading corner. So if you hurried up and finished your
Oh,
work, you could go sit in the beanbag chairs and pick a book off of the shelves, and lay on the floor and read a
that's
book. And
cool.
so I would
And she was
always,
like the teacher of that kind of thing.
yeah, she was that kind of teacher. And that was the year we learned cursive and our multiplication tables, and yeah.
Nobody learns multiplication tables anymore, by the way.
Or cursive.
Or, well, I don't even write in cursive anymore,
What? I know, I don't either, 'cause
but.
mine's so messy. We were supposed to be learning how to do that.
Right. I mean, but it's amazing the more stories I hear of this, and every time I hear them, I just love them because people talk about the fact that the ones that had the impact on them were the ones that treated them like people. I mean, I know
Yeah,
that that sounds very simple and very just
yeah,
kind of, well, yeah, but it's amazing that, if we have teachers in our past that weren't so memorable, is because maybe we just kind of felt like we were just one of the crowd. But the ones that took
yeah,
time, and
yeah,
said, this little one needs a little bit of extra attention, is a little bit scared, a
yeah,
little bit reticent, and just kind of
yeah,
took, that's so
yeah.
sweet.
It's so sweet, so sweet. Yeah, and then it was just so fun to have that. Also, what was cool about that in third grade is it kind of gave you a little bit of not control, but like, okay, if I finish this work, then I get to go be cool and be in the reading corner, and have some fun.
Yeah,
I loved
just by
that reading
simple
corner.
incentive, just teaching
Yeah,
that hard work can pay off kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
Gosh, and your sister is a teacher.
She is, yeah, my middle sister.
What does she
And
teach?
she did teach special ed, and then now she's I mean, for years and years and years. But she was always a teacher, even when we were little kids. I remember she taught me my multiplication tables too. We were both homesick one day, and she made flashcards for me to teach me, okay, 9 plus 9, you know. So she
So
was
there's something that's maybe in them that says this is what I have to do, kind of thing, almost.
100%. And it's so funny because my oldest sister and me, we're both like, that's my worst nightmare. I could never be a teacher. Like that is just not something either one of us want to do.
It's
My
difficult.
oldest sister was in like an exec in oil and gas. And then my middle sister was a teacher. And then I'm doing this random creative thing.
Right. It's amazing. I mean, part of the goal of this is to be able to reach out to people that are teachers as well. And if they listen to this and just say, listen, you're not weird. Okay. There's
Yeah.
something that's in you that wants to do this, and you have the ability to impact somebody's life. Do you know
I
if
just
Mrs.
wish we
Reb is, oh,
No,
go ahead.
she is no longer with us. She
Oh,
was until just a few years ago, and I talked to her when I had that stint, when I was opening the restaurants. We opened
yeah.
a one in Fort Worth, and my mom had run into somebody that knew her and got her phone number for me. So I did talk to her a few years ago, and
You got to tell us a little bit about that.
it was so great. And it was so funny because in my third grade class, my best friend Andy Mills, who was a little boy, we were literally in the crib together. We grew up together, and we were just a I'll call us a dynamic duo, but I think we we started off sitting
You were
next to
you
each
were the
other.
dastardly duo, but you
I
called yourselves the dynamic.
Yes, yes. So we started off sitting right next to each other in Mrs. Reb's class, and as the year progressed, she separated us further and further apart because I guess we talked to each other a lot in class. But she secretly thought we were so cute, come to find out, and loved us. Um, so it was a super fun conversation because she was asking if I was still in touch with Andy Mills, which Andy Mills is the guy that does the Redneck Report.
Right,
Yeah, that,
right.
I've got a few updates for you. But
I cannot wait to read them. They're funny
oh
every
yeah.
single time.
Yeah. So we still talk all the time and text, daily almost.
But she
But
remembered him too. She remembered both
she
of you.
remembered him and she asked all about
Oh,
Andy and so yeah, I mean, just the fact that she's had so many students over the course of her career and that she remembered us, I'll blame that on Andy being memorable, but
do you remember sharing anything with her? Like, because I mean, you probably kind of knew. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but you probably kind of knew, hey, that I might not be able to chat with her again.
Yeah, I just thanked her and I that she's always been my favorite teacher and how much I appreciated that and how much we learned and um just it's amazing the impact one teacher can make on so many people. I mean, they literally can change the world and they need to be making $1 million a year. I don't understand why teachers aren't.
Or
It's
why producers aren't.
you, Jessup. Thank you. Yes, you are correct.
Or why screenwriters aren't.
Yeah,
What is
exactly.
happening in this world?
Yes,
I'm just kidding.
exactly.
Well,
Of
Kelly, I just thank you so much for sharing those stories and everything with us and just sharing us,
course.
a little bit about you and everything because yeah, we do. I mean, that's what we want is we want people to understand that, hey, there are people in this world that make a difference. And a lot of times they are the kind of the unsung heroes, and I'm not just saying that because I was an educator because honestly, compared to folks like the teachers that I hear about, my job was way easy. I had college students that, they were paying to be there, kind of thing. But when it's especially a public school or a smaller school, when it's like you just have to make sure that you teach these kids math or whatever it is, that can be one of the most thankless jobs. And the ones that have found a way to cut through that thing and become someone's favorite teacher is just that's why I did this. It just amazes me.
Yeah. It's so great that you're doing this because teachers are unsung heroes and a lot of times they probably don't even realize the impact they've had. They may never see one of their students again and they could have changed their life.
Do you know if your English teacher's still around?
She's no longer around either, but I have her, she had a son that was at a rival school who was really
Wow.
cute, and all of his buddies were really cute. So my
Sure.
group of girls would, hang out with them. And one of my good friends married one of his good friends. So
What?
yeah, so I every few years we'll hear something and all those guys have been texting this week, since the movie came out because it's,
Yeah, because the
they all
connection.
think that Trey's based on them.
Of
The
course.
super good-looking
Okay.
Texas guy. And I'm like, yeah, 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 Rick Willow, it's totally based on you.
Well, I mean, in fairness, you say, I don't know, go buy a couple of tickets, go see it a couple times and see what you find out. Oh, well, Kelly, I just really appreciate you. You're just one of my
Of
favorite people, and I'm
course.
just so glad I'm honored, honestly, to have you on the podcast because you are so busy and you've got so much going on. And I just appreciate the time that you took to come and share those stories with us for sure.
Of course, Jessup. Anything for you?
Oh, okay. You're so nice. This is the time that we have to talk about plugs. We did mention, of course, the movies that are ongoing, but I mean, specifically, what do you want people to go see, like hands down?
I mean, The Wrong Paris. It's so much fun. It's just such a fun romp, and I think a lot of
It's
the
a romantic
feedback.
comedy, right?
It's a romantic comedy and it's just fun. And I feel like right now, the feedback has just been, this is what we needed to see right
Yeah.
now. It's just, there's so much going on in the world and so much heaviness. Like just escape for an hour and a half and dream of, being in love and
Fun,
cowboys and the
love,
rant,
and yeah.
So it's just a laugh out loud.
And
Um,
abs. Go look at the abs.
just for the abs alone. I mean, for women, it's eye candy, and for men, it's inspirational. So,
Of course. Well,
it's just fun.
inspirational or damning. That's just the.
Exactly, exactly. But that one's
Oh,
super fun. I love that one. And I mean, Bob Trevino likes it. It's just such a special, special film about kindness, really, about the kindness of strangers and just letting yourself be vulnerable and live in those spaces and just the kindness of strangers. Have you seen it, Jessup?
I have not had a chance to, and I still need to. It's not showing in any of my theaters around me, so I'm
It's
just gonna
on
have to rent it.
it's on Hulu now.
Oh, it's on Hulu, so and
Yeah,
I've
you
got that,
can
so
go watch it tonight.
100%. I will go do that. And then, look, when people watch these things, is there anything they can do also just to kind of help boost things? Can they rate stuff somewhere? Do you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you watch any of these movies and go like to Rotten Tomatoes
Rotten Tomatoes?
and rate it there, IMDb or even Yahoo reviews. I mean,
Cool.
any reviews anywhere are helpful for sure.
Good.
Um and then just like on Bob Trevino, it's such a great film and it was such a low budget and we just didn't have enough money for prints and advertising. So we just need to get the word out about that. It's award season now and we're trying to come up with some more money to be in the mix on that cuz unfortunately it's not just a good film merits an
No,
Academy Award. There's
you
a
have to campaign
whole
it.
it's campaigning. There's a whole awards season, and it's hard for us to compete with Netflix. Which
Sure.
I love Netflix. They just did. They've got two movies on Netflix now, but for the little guys, when you do an independent like Bob Trevino, it's hard to even be on the playing field
Right.
because they've got millions of dollars to spend on those things. So,
Right.
um, we're actually on Bob Trevino about to start a crowdfunding page, which I'll send you the link to that
Cool.
later this month, just because it's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
Audiences
wow.
love this movie. And if everybody who took the time to give it a 100% rating, if they could just kick in $10, that could maybe help us at least be able to rent the theater for an Oscar bid or something like
Yeah.
that.
And get it the awards and everything that it actually deserves. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Kelly, do you want anybody to follow you on social media or anything like that? Do you do that kind
Yeah,
of
sure.
stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not great at it, but yeah, I'm on Instagram, Kelly L. Frazier,
Okay.
on
Frazier is
Instagram,
spelled.
FRA. So it's Kelly, Kelly, L, and then Frazier, Frazier.
Well, get ready because you're going to get the My Favorite Teacher podcast bump, which
Oh, yeah.
you may get a follower after this. I'm just going to tell
Hey,
you.
every
No.
follower counts.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate your time with us. And to everybody else that's watching, or if you're just listening on Spotify, thanks so much. Just a quick little thing. Speaking of reviews, if you would find us on Apple Podcasts and give us a rating, that really does help us. And just, get the word out because we'd love to be able to impact this world positively with all kinds of good stories because every great person has a favorite teacher. So thanks again to my guest, Kelly Frazier. Thank you so much for everybody listening. Be nice to each other out there, and we'll see you all soon. Take care. We'll see you next time.